So a5 was played. There are not so many moves white can play, so that's why they play bishop a4. But bishop a4 allows us to capture there. And what do you think happens if this rook goes to f3? In the game, the rook went to e8, but if it goes to f3, how would you play? Knight d2. Okay, thanks, Arush. Yes, it's knight d2. How does it work? Knight f1 becomes a threat. Rook d3, for example, but you can play knight f1, forcing the king to go there. Then you can play some discovered attack like that. The king moves, you go further, then you take there, even with your knight to attack the bishop. So you are several pawns up. Rook e8, but rook takes e3, rook c8, and knight a3 is possible, but they played knight e3, capturing this pawn. Because these can be captured with a rook, and then the bishop is under attack, so c5 is not under attack because of that. So black has already won one pawn, but there is still an attack on the king. And with this attack, black doesn't want to checkmate. They just want to chase the king away and capture some pawns. And the c pawn will be promoted. So this move, c4. This, g2 is vulnerable. So even without a bishop, we can still attack this pawn. Bishop c6, but c3. Bishop f3, and this is a completely winning position. Just no rush. What do you think you should do? Rook c1, c2, rook d1. But then they take on c2. So if you play rook c1 in this position, they go that way. There is a check. And your knight is hanging. Okay, so c2. If they take your knight, you play this move, but it fails because they control the c1 square. No, looks like it doesn't work so well. King f5. Well, bringing the king to the place of action is likely to be a winning strategy, but this time you can play better. So look at the bishop, which doesn't have any squares. Just g5 with g4 idea, or even g5 with a 4 idea. So g4, f4, and this is where white resigned. Why? Because of rook c1 coming. This time the knight is protected and it's okay. So for example, let's play rook c1. So this king goes to f2, c2, rook move, and c1. So king goes there, rook d1, rook c2. No. Well, it's still winning. This. King takes, knight a3. It should be still winning. Bishop a2. You bring the king then. So this. Then you're winning. Okay, fine. Yes, it's winning, but maybe there is a better way. Well, you can just play this move. How does it work? You threaten with c1, and if king d2, then you play rook d1, and then c1. This time it's a check, and it's poisoned because you promote them immediately. Okay, fine. So that's why they resigned. And if here they decide to move the king to h2, they can be even checkmated. So for example, rook c5, rook c1, they go to h2, and there is a checkmate. So this, if he goes that way, it's a checkmate on h1. If he goes that way, it's a checkmate on f1, because the pawn controls e3 as well as defends the knight on g3. Okay, so what I want you to remember from this example is that first of all, you should identify because of which ideas you are winning or you are drawing in this endgame. Well, here, by looking at this position, you can say that your pieces are located more actively than the enemy ones. So what does it mean? It means that you should coordinate them. It means you should attack the enemy weaknesses, especially if these pawns are like separated and you can capture them and you can threaten them. So the second feature is a pawn structure. It's terrible. G2 is a weakness. This is a crucial square by capturing which you create serious problems to the king. It's not checkmate, but it's something that white should take into account, because once you capture on G2 and then make a discovered attack, he can lose material. And not only a pawn, but even a piece or a rook. Another thing is the bishop. It has only a few squares to move to. On this diagonal, it's restricted. This diagonal is useless. And this is blocked by his own pawn. So evaluating and taking into account these factors allows you to come up with a proper play.